The Paul Leslie Interviews.
It's our pleasure to welcome here songwriter and musician, Mr. Tim Finn. Thank you very much for making the time to speak with us today.
Okay.
Growing up in your family, did you find your family to be a quite musical family?
Yeah, our mum was Irish, so there was always the possibility of music in the air. We had a piano, and our parents were into having gatherings, and a guy called Colin O'Brien who could play any song you like. And Dad had a really good jazz collection, like big band, swing jazz. And then plus we had, the Beatles, and a lot of music started to come on the radio and TV and that. So there was there was lots of music.
Can you remember anything in particular that inspired you to want to become a musician?
Probably seeing the Beatles on TV in 1963, whenever it was. TV had just come to New Zealand, so it was black and white, and there they were, and everybody was falling in love with them, and me too. And the local music shop had a Ludwig drum set in the window. I used to stare at that and dream about it, I suppose, yeah.
Speaking of your newest release, could you tell us a little bit about your new album? Is there any song in particular that you find is a favorite of yours?
Not really. It's I think it hangs together fairly well as an album. That's what you always try to do. A lot of people have said that Astounding Moon is a standout track for them, and I guess I am pretty fond of that one.
Is there any particular phase of your career with the bands you played with, Split Enz, Crowded House, playing as a solo act? Is there any in particular era that you find as being your favorite?
Well, I mean, now is my favorite because I'm finding that the songs I'm writing are coming quite freely, and I'm I just think I'm getting better, and whether or not people recognize that fact, it's something that I feel inside me. So otherwise I would certainly stop if I felt I was running out of ideas or getting jaded or repeating myself or whatever. But I don't feel that. I feel very inspired to write music and try and offer it to people. And so that's why I'm still doing it. But yeah, this is my favorite period.
When someone listens to one of your recordings or sees you perform, what is it that you hope that the listener gets out of the experience?
Just some inspiration. Maybe their hearts get opened up a bit. That's always good if you feel that sort of sense of belonging in a room. Live music is very powerful at creating that feeling of oneness, and in that oneness you can find release from your suffering for a while and just feel a bit inspired. So yeah, it sounds like a lofty aim, but that's what I try for.
Just looking at your tour schedule, it appears as if you're playing a tremendous amount of concerts. What is it that keeps it fresh?
It's hard traveling around, flying, especially this winter. It's very extreme weather. We've had to cancel 2 shows, and that's always a real bummer. But I just try and remind myself that it's for them, it's for the people, and that's what I'm here for. I still love to play. Every night is great. The 1 hour we get on stage makes it all worth it. But it is hard, so it's a balancing act, and I miss my kids and I miss my family, but I'll be going home next week, so that's all right.
Out of all these different places that you play, and having played in so many different places, is there any place in the world that particularly stands out as a place that you've loved playing or visiting?
Not really. I mean, anywhere can be great on any given night. People are people, and American audiences are exceptionally generous and very welcoming, I find. They're up there with the best of them. Yeah, you can put me anywhere, and as long as the people are into it, as long as they're there for the same reason I am, then magic can happen.
Going to your song, Take the Weather With You, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind that song.
Well, that was written. I had the chorus, and I had the first line about walking around the room singing stormy weather, and I had that chorus about take the weather with you. I wrote that when I was in Portugal doing a TV show. It was like a variety show, and I was backstage, and I was next one on. It was a exotic dancer or something on, and I was on next, and it just made me feel happy and silly, I suppose, and I felt like writing that. So I did, but then Neil got together with me and he pushed it forward into new areas, and so it was a real combination of both of us that created that song, and it had a nice bittersweet quality by the time we'd finished it.
What did you think of Mr. Buffett's version of the song?
I thought it was fine. Neil and I were very pleased with it. It sounded really good, and yeah, it's always very flattering to get somebody to cover your song. Jimmy's a big star and plays to big crowds, so there's a little bit of a backhander in it for the boys too. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. But mostly we just liked the version. It was great music.
It's a great song. Is there anything on the horizons with Tim Finn?
I'm going to make another record in April, which I'm hoping to get out in September, October. Split Enz are touring New Zealand at the end of March, so that's enough for the meantime.
One final question before we leave. The wonderful thing about the internet is this program has the ability to be sent out all over the world, so we'll have people listening in from all over the world. So my last question is, Mr. Finn, what would you like to say to all those people in the world that are listening in?
Well, each and every one of you, put some music in the world. Doesn't mean literally notes on a piano or a guitar. It could be just, I don't know, the song that's coming out from your heart. But yeah, put some music into the world because we need it.
Well, Mr. Finn, thank you very much for the interview. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
All right, thanks for finding me.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. See ya.